When I think of Paarl, I think of great red wine, phenomenal people, and a lot of heritage. Speaking of heritage, Toyota's Prado, what a mean machine. Capable off-road, capable on-road. It's kind of the perfect all-rounder. Speaking of perfect all-rounders, let's meet one, South African legend, Jean de Villiers. Hello, Jean.
Hello, Ryan. It was a good intro.
Thank you. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
And here we are. We'd like to get into the Paarl Monument, but we can't. We're not allowed.
Yeah. But no, we are allowed, but we have to pay. And I know how
Stingy I am.
cheap and stingy you are.
So we're not paying to get in.
You didn't want to pay the $30 to get us in. But it's fine.
So we're on the
It's
outskirts.
fine.
If I look back, I mean, this is some of the most beautiful landscape in all of South Africa. A place that's close to your heart, born and bred in the hills behind us over here, or the valley here behind us. And obviously great memories as well of your childhood behind us here.
Yeah, look, it's, you know, when I went to school versus the way it's looking at the moment, none of that was there.
Sure.
You know, so it's developed so much. It's with the new estates, you know, with new schools, and I think, you know, Paarl is very much built around the schools and the quality of schools we have here, and the beautiful nature and what you can access here, I think is truly special. So it's an incredibly special place to grow up in, and we moved back here about 4 years ago, and for our kids to be able to grow up here as well.
Did you do that to get further away from me? Is it the restraining order?
Mostly. But you know, I mean, you've got obviously the issues with the weight and stuff, but like we won't touch on that today. But it's great to see you.
Jean looks at these mountains. He says, hey, this is a great place for you to do any kind of training on. Up and down these long hills, the beautiful valley behind us of Paarl. We're going to go into town, we're going to have a look through the streets, go through some of the great memories that Jean has of growing up in this place. Importantly, like I said, you look at icons in South Africa, and the Toyota Prado in these parts of the world really thrives. They don't see much off-roading here, but they see a hell of a lot of street time. We're going to see some street time as we make our way to Paarl Gym, another place where Jean spent 16 years of his life. What is your first memory of rugby in Paarl? Do you remember your position? I don't remember my primary school.
No, I wouldn't be able to remember my first game, but I very much remember my first memory of rugby.
Yeah,
and that was at my house.
Yeah,
and my dad played for Western Province. My dad was kind of in administration and rugby as well. And on that, it was a Sunday, so my brother's a year older than me, and I was about 4 or 5 years old, and the two of us were kicking the ball on the grass.
Okay.
You know, we had a braai, and my parents had friends over, and we were kicking the ball, and the guy that was you know, friends of my dad, there was over. He at one stage he couldn't take it anymore, and he came to me and he said, stop. He said, if you want to play for the Springboks, you don't kick the ball, you run with it.
Right.
Okay. At the time, I just thought, you know, it was, again, friends of my parents. But it was John Gainsford. Now, John Gainsford was one of the most legendary Springbok centers ever.
Yes.
That kind of just stuck with me. And he had an influence in my rugby career throughout as well. And that was the first memory. And honestly, there's not a time in my life that I can remember where rugby was not part of it.
Sure. So coming back to Paarl, because this is what you've decided to do, is you've decided, I mean, we mentioned the schools, irrespective of the rugby element of Paarl, the schools are phenomenal. And it really is a great place. You're spoiled for choice when it comes to the schools, aren't you?
Yeah, and the variety,
Yeah.
you know, so yes, you mentioned the rugby and the sport, but I mean, if you look at business in South Africa, top CEOs, you know, and then sporting people and successful sporting people, a lot of the time you can see these schools and you know, their former pupils being in the mix there. So you have Paarl Gym, that's obviously an Afrikaans school, but boys and girls. You have Paarl Boys, who's English and Afrikaans, but boys only. You got Girls you got La Rochelle, 2 girls schools. You got Landbou School, which is more like a handel school. What's it in English? Like a
trade.
Trade school. You got Bula Landbou School, agriculture.
Yeah. People don't know this about you, and I've known you for a long time, and I know that you love cars. I mean, you don't talk about it a lot, but And you'd think to yourself, well, you know, what do rugby players know about cars? What do they kind of care about cars as long as they get you from A to B? But you are quite, I mean, I look at your taste in vehicles and I'm quite impressed because a lot of research is done in terms of the kind of car that that appeals to you, the kind of a needs that you have for a vehicle, and you know your stuff.
Yeah, look, my old friend Schalk Berger, I think is kind of, when you say that I know cars, then he's an absolute genius when it comes to it. So he'll probably laugh when he hears that comment. But yeah, look, your needs change throughout.
Sure. Yeah.
Having kids now and understanding what the needs are, I think I've been pushing and staying away from having to buy a combi or something like that for a long time. Even though there are so many unbelievable ones around, but like it's, you know, cars are like a thing.
Yeah.
If you talk about investment, the car's probably not the best
No.
thing, but at the end of the day, life is there to be lived.
Yeah.
And you want to be able to drive a
drive,
nice car
yeah.
and
This is a lekker car, hey? I mean, you see a lot of them, and I mentioned Paarl. Paarl is really, it's a city that kind of, a town that kind of is loyal to Toyota as a brand. There's massive rivalry between this and the opposition, which is the British opposition from the Land Rover, Range Rover stable.
Yep.
But you find there's a massive following for this brand in
look,
Paarl.
if you go to school drop off now,
Yeah.
and then you will just see the amount of Prados that's running around there. And again, you know, it's rugged. It provides everything that you really need, whether that is in the urban area or if you want to go off-road. You know, if you have kids and mom's taxi at the back here, you've got enough space. You've got enough space for the cricket kit and all the drinks and chips and whatever will be lying in the back. So you've got all of that, and you know, parking is always an issue as well. So being able to park
with having camera sensors and
on the sidewalk, you know, the Prado comes in handy. See, just check there.
We're just checking these Prados all on the sidewalk. Focusing again on Paarl, do you remember ever coming back after winning your first cap as a Springbok, coming back and being here? And talk to us while we're going past, because we're going past special areas here in Paarl.
It's a brand new Kaapstad Brouwhaus that's built here.
It's a beer house.
I went there the other night, and they had Bok van Blerk.
Hey, Bokkie, there.
Yes. So we had a nice show with Bok van Blerk
and some beer,
I wanted to.
I follow 2 beers,
and then at the end, Bok called me up to sing Ons vir jou South Africa, so I made my debut on stage as well.
Were you cheered or were you booed?
No, I was cheered.
Yeah.
But I held the mic very low so that no one could hear.
Yeah. Are there parts that you look at that you go, I remember being a little kid causing trouble on this corner
this liquor store, CJ Keller, that was just like a little cafe, a convenience store. Yeah,
you buy all your way.
Fouris was the name. And then my brother and I would go, so we lived just up the road here. And we would walk down, and every day we'd come down and he'd play games,
little arcade
games in the back. And my mom would give us each like 10 rand, okay? It was a lot of money back then. And my parents knew the owners and whatever.
The Fouris.
And then one day, so my brother would play the games all the time, and I would just buy sweets and eat sweets, okay? And then one day, the owner told my mom, like, he does not understand. We keep coming there every single day or whatever, and my brother's this thick oakie, okay, but he plays games, and I eat all the sweets, and I'm this maar oakie. So the McDonald's. I remember when the McDonald's came in. I was in high school.
Yeah.
And this was my mom's. She was an estate agent. So
based here.
So she was based there.
And now we're entering this 1858.
So yes, Paarl Gym High School. I spent a lot of time here.
And this, when you see that, I mean, they haven't changed the name on the stadium. It's just iconic. Everything about where we are and where we're going to now is just steeped in heritage.
Yeah, look, and you know, this is the main field, rugby field, where obviously the first team plays. But not only the rugby, you know, I look at that, and it's the cricket pitch as well.
Yeah.
So Schalk Berger and myself, we never played rugby together here at school, but we played
cricket. He can hit the ball far.
Yeah, we played cricket together for the first team, and you know, I remember so you start here under 14. You know, this is where you start.
Right.
Then you kind of build your way up, and then eventually you get to the A fields. You know, but if you if you're not there yet, you're not allowed to go onto the pitch, etc.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many cool traditions that are still being held, and that's really important, I think, for schools, is to hold those traditions where if you're not a first team player, you don't get to walk on the hallowed turf. And none of this was here. Was this the tuck shop? Did you still call it a tuck shop?
That was a library.
Oh, the library.
That was a library that they converted into a tuck shop now. Was that your favorite class?
The tuck shop,
The tuck shop.
No, the PE class, the physical ed class was always a good class.
Good class.
A fantastic outing with Jean de Villiers in Paarl. Starts and ends basically in this beautiful place called Paarl. We start at the monument, we end at Paarl Gym, and these grounds, John, plenty of good memories here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, you see the boundary ropes of the cricket pitch here now, and I spent a lot of time playing cricket here as well, which was unbelievable.
I can imagine you and Skulk just really smashing the ball around.
We had some amazing times, and just the banter on the field and all of that. But obviously, the rugby provided a platform for me to eventually build a career and do what I love. So extremely grateful for what this place, what this school, what this town enabled me to do eventually, and extremely grateful.
Absolutely. The Prado's at home here, Jean de Villiers is at home here, and of course, why wouldn't you feel at home here? We're in Paarl, great place to be. Chance for you to win this, ladies and gents. Believe it or not, this is the last ball that Jean de Villiers held as a Springbok captain in South Africa. Of course, on to play the World Cup, but on the 8th of the 8th in 2015, this is the ball from that said game. And very, very seldom do we actually get to see these balls, and I've managed to get one and secure one. So somebody's going to win this ball, that's right. Somebody watching this right now is going to win this. Look at the details and follow the instructions, and who knows, we could be getting this ball off to you. Jean, thanks a stack for sharing. Any fond memories of this ball?
No, not too fun.
It's historic because this ball was the first time Argentina actually beat us at home.
Okay, why do you have to mention
I'm
that?
sorry.
You keep it.
Thank you. That is the best ever.